The adventure? We arrived early, very early indeed. So early, we were the first to arrive. The time was barely 5 a.m., and I'm already up on the mountain looking at snow all around. It was going to be a glorious morning as we grabbed our bobsleds and began the trek uphill with hopes of being to the top before the sun rose above the mountains to the east. It took me a moment to catch my breath when we reached the summit. I felt so alive watching the rays of sunlight glistening on the snow as they began their morning stretch across the land. Even though there was snow and cold as far as the eye could see, still I felt so very warm and one with the moment. The moment was short-lived, however, as I was struck by a snowball, thrown by none other than my friend and fellow bobsledder whose name will remain anonymous. Of course, never afraid of a quickie snowball fight, I countered with snowballs of my own. After our brief snow war, it was time to get down to the business at hand. Sledding. Now, neither one of us has been sledding in a very long time. That being said, neither one of us had any apprehensions as we aimed our bobsleds down the hill. And away we went. Without any worries, over the edge we went. The race was on. We never talked about having a race. We didn't have to. We are both competitive, so of course we were gonna race. Adds to the excitement of the moment. Takes it to the next level. And at that moment I was in the lead and pulling away. I was having so much fun as the crisp air stung at my face. Both of our sleds started to slow as the snow-covered ground began to level out at what would be the unofficial end of the first leg of our downhill race. And I won. Not by much as my competitor claimed. I couldn't tell how close it was. I just know I won, that leg at least. From where we stood it looked like there was one more race to be had on this hill. If I lose this leg, no big deal. If I win this leg, total bragging rights all the way to the beach. That's right, the beach. Here in Southern California we have the ability to go sledding in the snow in the morning, drive a few hours, and then catch some nice waves in the afternoon sun. Truly awesome second half of our day. That is for later. Back in the moment we grab our sleds and walk to the next drop-off. Peering over the edge we both realize this run will be much more intense. It is much steeper here, and there even looks to be a possible chance to catch a little air. Could be painful, but looks like a lot of fun. Risk versus reward, most definitely worth the risk. Once again we point our sleds downhill, and without even a count of 3, 2, 1, the race was on. It was steep. Very steep. We were moving fast, way faster than the last leg, and we just barely got started. We were both side by side, trying to get any extra speed out of our sleds that would bring victory. The deciding factor without a doubt will be the jump that lays between us and the finish line. The same jump that is looking much bigger the closer we get. Much, much bigger. We are gonna catch some air. That's the easy part. Landing. Now there's where it gets tricky. To win I gotta land flat. Even landing flat could still hurt. No time to think about that though, as we are already there, jumping our sleds we flew through the air. Of course we both landed it, and went sledding for the finish. Another epic battle that would end in a tie. We strapped our sleds onto the car and raced down the mountain to head to the shore. We would finish this day California style? Boogie boarding on some waves and kicking up some sand. Arriving about 1 p.m. I knew we would not be disappointed as I could already see head-high surf. We grabbed our boogie boards and ran to the surf, all the while thinking a few hours ago I was sledding and throwing snowballs. The waves were unbelievable and the rides unlimited. As sun started set, it was time to head in. The last wave we took together. It was a chance to ride hand in hand, both of us smiling, relishing the day we had been blessed with. As we exited the water we could smell the smoke from the fire pits. It was a comfort smell, one we both enjoyed. It was time to relax, we were pretty worn out. We would finish the day sitting in a couple of beach chairs burying our toes in the sand. Hamburgers and chips to fill our bellies as we marvel at the sun that is beginning to set. Just a few short hours ago we were watching the sun rise in the east, and now hours later we watch it set in the west. We sit in our chairs, listening to the fire crackle as sparks shoot up into the night sky. The next indicated step now, of course, would be s'mores. Nothing better by campfire after a long, exhausting day of activities than a couple of graham crackers surrounding a semi-burnt marshmallow and slab of milk chocolate, the best. As the fire in the pit begins to smolder away, we will finish our journey just a few steps away. A hotel room that we booked in advance is our final stop on our day-long adventure, an adventure that we will not soon forget. One that began the day in the mountains and snow, will end in a hotel looking out at the ocean listening to the waves.